Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this Facebook Live. My name is Scott Engen.
Lisa Budeau.
And we have also meteorologist Lydia Blume.
Our storm team.
Dillon Vogt with us as well. They're going to tell us all about the weather here in just a second. But first, tell us where people can watch this anytime.
All right. Live every morning between 8 and 8:30. You can watch this on your Facebook feed anytime. But, of course, you can also find this on your favorite podcast platform. Just go to inforum.com/podcasts. And, of course, on our WDAY InForum YouTube channel. So lots of ways to join us besides on air and on our Storm Tracker weather app. But we wanted to have both of these guys on today because it's a huge weather day.
Huge weather day.
Weather week, really.
Yeah.
Seriously. All right. Let's get out of the way. We'll have them tell us all about the weather, and then we'll come back and join with all your headlines for the day.
Get out of here. Okay, do you want to start with what you saw this morning?
Sure, I have to duck so you guys can see me.
Get your squats in.
I was outside this morning, of course. I get sent outside. And this morning when I got to work, it wasn't all too bad. I mean, there were a couple slick spots here and there. But the mist really picked up, a heavy mist, I should say. We went out for a live shot about 4:30. It was almost a light rain. And that went on until about 5:15. And, of course, our air temperatures are about freezing, 32 degrees roughly they were this morning. Yeah. But our ground temperature, using this fancy-dancy thermometer, they were in the mid-20s. So what happens is this rain or light mist falls down to the ground. Yep. And then as soon as it hits the ground temperature, or the ground, since temperatures are below freezing, it freezes on impact. And that causes a lot of slippery spots, especially those untreated roads. Main roads through Fargo are pretty okay, still a couple of slick spots, but it's those side streets, it's the parking lots, it's the driveways that are untreated, that are super slippery, at least here in Fargo. I'm sure that's the case, a lot of spots. That's this freezing rain, mist, precipitation this morning. So that's the note. Did briefly switch over to snow during first news, then it stopped, but I was just outside now, and it's snowing again.
It's snowing.
Yeah.
It's happening. Okay, so the system as a whole is obviously taking aim and hitting us today. It's slowly pushing up to the north. It's snowing now here in Fargo, so we've seen that transition from that mixed precip over to snow. Patches of light freezing drizzle are still possible throughout the morning and into about lunchtime today, and then I think really everyone starts to see that widespread snow. The evening commute this evening looks messy. Yeah. You're going to have the ice that's already out there on the roads and then new snow on top of that ice. So not only icy roads, but snow-plugged roads. We've got some wind today out of the east, about 15 to 20, gusting near 30 miles per hour. So some blowing and some drifting will be possible. Not as bad as what I think we're going to see on Thursday and Friday for the blowing and snowing. The bulk of the snow does come for today, though, and we have changed our snow forecast.
Yes.
Late last night into this morning, we upgraded it or updated it. Fargo now included in the 6 to 9 inch range for that snow, and the bulk of the accumulation is going to come this evening into the overnight. Tomorrow, the snow is going to start to break up. You're going to notice more lulls in the activity, kind of more of that map color showing up on the radar here or there, but still patchy light snow. Don't be surprised to still see snow falling from the sky on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. This low pressure system is kind of a monster. It's a really big storm, and it's going to crawl its way up to the east, and everything goes counterclockwise around a low. So as it gets to our east, we still get hit with wraparound precipitation on the backside. And so a little bit of light snow still possible Thursday, Friday. Additional 1, 2, maybe 3 inches.
Yeah, so that's good. I'd say most of this be around an inch.
It'll be patchy.
Yeah, definitely patchy.
But then that's when we have the wind. So it picks up out of the northwest about 40, 45 miles per hour. So more blowing and drifting.
Yeah, especially out to the west, I'm thinking.
Yes,
it's
strongest winds out across North Dakota.
Correct.
So that's kind of the forecast in a nutshell. This is going to progress. Everything's going to deteriorate throughout the day today. Your impacts come in phases. So you get the most snow tonight into tomorrow. You get the most wind Thursday, Friday. It just is hitting us from all angles. And then next week looks bitter cold. I see us falling below zero Tuesday night, Monday night, and then staying below zero for a few days, which means your daytime highs are below zero as well.
Chilly week before Christmas.
Yes, we are updating our live blog. There's a Storm Tracker live blog. If you go to inforum.com, right on the top, there's a winter storm tab. There's a special tab just for winter storm coverage. And if you click on that, you're going to find our live blog. And each meteorologist throughout the day, shift change, different shows. We've been updating it. I've updated it twice this morning.
I'll update it probably at 11. Jesse will probably update about 2. Dom will update it at 6. We're always putting new stuff up there.
And if you want to see that new snow map with the changes, that's the best place to look at it. So, okay. Go team.
Tell you
That
what.
was a hard high
That was
five.
solid contact. I like it.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the update.
I like that a lot,
Yeah,
actually.
that was good.
We get to hear it on First News, but then
Yeah.
I was like, yes, okay, I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready for all of the snow and the cold weather that they're talking
Well,
about, but
get ready because it's coming.
yeah.
All right.
Some of the top headlines. We have a breaking story. You want to start with that?
Yeah, so this is out of the Southern Valley. We broke it this morning on First News. A large shop is a total loss after a fire broke out at the Sundale Hutterite colony. Happened overnight. We had some pictures we showed, really some stunning
incredible,
images.
yeah.
So it was a large shop, essentially, that had, equipment in there, some trucks, other things. We don't know exactly what was in there, but we are told that it was a total loss, essentially. Firefighters were out there in the evening or the morning hours. I think they got there around 3:30 is what we heard. They worked through a snowstorm. We could see in those pictures, snow was starting to come in, whipping around. They were called out around 3:30, and much of that building was destroyed. The good news out of the whole deal is luckily nobody was hurt, is what we were told by a
Yeah,
firefighter on
thank
scene.
goodness. If you didn't see the pictures this morning on First News, Scott's going to be on at 11 today, and you'll show those pictures again as well on our 11 o'clock
Yeah,
newscast.
absolutely.
So, another story we're following for you today. This is a story that we broke yesterday. A man is going to be in court today for that kind of bizarre break-in that happened in Moorhead, where he wandered into a home. The homeowner was actually there. They were confronted each other, and he ended up locking himself in a bedroom in the house. Anyway, he's going to be in court today in Clay County Court, facing a burglary charge. But kind of breaking it down for you again. Oh, I just jumped right ahead to a different story than what we're supposed to do. Well, anyway,
No, you're
so I
okay.
still tell you this bizarre break-in. He's going to be in court today, and Moorhead police officers are telling you, lock your doors, because apparently the doors were unlocked in this case. Walked in at one point, the homeowner, said, "Get off my couch. This
Yeah.
is not your house." I got a gun, called police.
Yeah.
Police were able to get him out, and now he's in the Clay County Jail, and we'll be tracking what happens in court for you today on that story.
Sure will. All right, the city of Fargo has decided to change its definitions and regulations around adult entertainment centers and establishments. Now, this is all going to be stemming from an ongoing legal battle between the city and Romantix, which is an adult toy store. Attorney Howard Swanson said that while the court case may have prompted the city to look at their ordinances, the city code is long overdue for an update to the definitions surrounding adult entertainment centers. And so the city is proposing some changes to what they're calling, quote, adult entertainment centers. And instead of saying that in the bylaws, they're going to say just adult establishment potentially. And then they're going to add some more detail to what exactly constitutes an adult bookstore. So we'll kind of follow this as it goes through the process.
Today there's going to be an open house regarding a pretty big road construction project that could affect a lot of people. It's happening from 5 to 7 at the West Fargo Conference Center at the Doubletree by Hilton. So this is what they're talking about, though. Reconstruction of 9th Street Northeast, a good section. It's kind of hard to follow this. We talked about this. But so the main deal is it's part of 9th Street Northeast, but it's from Main Avenue East to 12th Avenue Northeast, and then also 7th Avenue East from 9th Street Northeast to east of the Fargo City line with West Fargo. I know, kind of have to
East,
visualize.
northeast, east, west. I don't know. All right.
But so that meeting is happening today, 5 to 7. Everyone's invited to kind of, give their input on what they think, what they'd like to see, and how it will impact the community as well.
Yes. All right, new this morning, the West Fargo School Board has unanimously approved the resignation of Freedom Elementary School Principal Jeffrey Johnson. Officials said last week 2 complaints were filed against Johnson, and 1 was substantiated, I should say. The reasoning behind his departure is still unknown this morning. Our partner InForum reached out to obtain a copy of that resignation letter. All that we know that right now is that the administration supported that release, and the superintendent there was allowed to negotiate a severance package with Johnson, who is now the former principal.
This story is getting a lot of buzz. In Bismarck, a parent has filed a fraud complaint with the North Dakota Attorney General's office, claiming that the Bismarck hockey boosters profited from canceled ice time during the coronavirus pandemic. Of course, we have a huge hockey community here as well. The claims have been vigorously denied by the youth hockey group's executive director, who says the group did not profit from the pandemic shutdown and that all teams enjoyed a full year of tournaments during the 2021-2022 season. The parent who filed the complaint told the forum that he waited more than a year to do so because he didn't want his child that was playing hockey to, be reprimanded or any of those repercussions for what was being filed in this lawsuit. If you want to read more, you can find that story at InForum.com. It's interesting.
Yeah. All right, we're getting a better idea this morning of how people in Grand Forks may vote in regards to upgrades at Valley Middle School. Monday, representatives from Grand Forks-based Icon Architects and the Donovan Group presented those results of a survey that measured voters' preferences presented to the school board. That survey, completed by over 1,000 people, showed strong support for entirely rebuilding the school. So that's kind of interesting. Respondents were divided into comparison and non-comparison groups, with the latter encompassing those who have no affiliation with the school district. When asked whether they would support a $61 million bond referendum, over 73% of the non-comparison group and 66% of the comparison group, which are both pretty large majorities, said that they would support the initiative.
A big national headline today: lawmakers on Capitol Hill are facing a looming government shutdown at the end of the week if they fail to pass a stopgap funding measure. Government funding is set to expire Friday at midnight. To avoid a shutdown, the House and Senate must pass a short-term extension so negotiators can come up with a full-year funding deal. It's expected to get a vote in the Senate this week and be approved with bipartisan support before heading to President Joe Biden's desk for his signature.
All right, and today marks 1 month since the murder of those 4 college students at University of Idaho. Police have yet to name a suspect or a motive in that case, but they insist that the case is far from going cold. Police there say that they're still combing through surveillance video and other evidence. They're searching for the occupants of a white Hyundai that they showed video of we showed video of this morning that was seen near that crime scene the night of the murders. Detectives do acknowledge that they are being tight-lipped about the evidence in this case, which is frustrating to a lot of people that want to know what's happening, especially the families. The families of those victims are demanding more answers, and one family is even raising money to hire a private investigator.
We want to remind you, Hot Mic is coming up here shortly. What do we have, 45 minutes away, 9 to 11. Dom will be on WDAY Extra and InForum.com, 9 to 11 every weekday morning.
Yeah.
And of course, you're on
one thing
11.
This is off script, but Dom probably will be talking about this on Hot Mic this morning. There was some breaking news that I just saw on Twitter from...
Breaking sports news?
Yeah, from Mississippi State. I don't know if you follow college football, you'll know that Mike Leach, a prominent coach, had been in the hospital with a heart condition. He died overnight.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
he was only 61. Kind of
That's
one of
sad
those...
news.
Yeah, sad stuff. One of those guys that was really a bright spot in college football. A lot of coaches sometimes are... kind of rough, and they don't like to talk to media or talk to people. And this guy was always had fun with his answers and things like that. So kind of a pretty sad loss for the college football community and obviously his family and that kind of thing. So I'm sure that Dom will be talking about that. I saw he actually tweeted about it, so that's where I saw it. So I wanted to mention that too.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Besides Dom's Hot Mic, I mentioned Scott's going to be on at 11 today for Becky Parker, and then of course, all afternoon long, we're going to be following this winter storm. Team coverage will continue with our Storm Tracker weather team, along with our whole newsroom full of reporters as well. So join us at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 tonight for the very latest on that storm.
And before we let you go, we want to tell you about that promo that we got going on. 50% off on a subscription to InForum.com. It goes through December 23rd. So take advantage of that. You can give that as a gift to someone that has everything or a gift to yourself because it's a great deal.
I love to gift myself all the time. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning as well. Wake up with First News every weekday morning from 5 to 7.
Have a good day.